Good morning. I'm Officer Baker with the Houston Police Department's Special Victims Division Adult Sex Crime Unit. Myself and along with some vice officers conducted a almost 3-month-long investigation into similar reports of indecent exposure and public lewdness that have been going around in various areas in Houston, Texas. Upon reviewing the first two reports, the first being June 29, 2016, the second being January 10, 2017, we determined they happened in the same area in which the officers in the Vice Division were already made aware and had begun conducting surveillance after learning of the vehicle's license plate. I, at that time, became notified due to my crime analysis personnel in my division that the cases existed and there were similarities amongst all the cases. I then was alerted to two other cases, one being January 4th, 2017, one being February 7th, 2017, which happened to involve two sisters. And upon further investigation, I determined they were in fact related to the prior two cases that I had been made aware of. At that point, myself and officers in the Vice Division decided that each case involved the same suspect description, same suspect vehicle description. The MO for the suspect was the same, as well as each victim expressed to us after talking with them, they felt like the suspect wanted them to see what he was doing. I then learned of a fifth case that occurred February 12th, in which at this time I'm still able to confirm that the suspect involved in these cases was the suspect. However, the suspect description, vehicle description actually matches with the other complainants. After looking at all 5 cases at that point, the Vice Division and I decided, let's go ahead and continue conducting the surveillance so that we can narrow down who is actually driving the vehicle, since the vehicle is registered to a business entity and multiple people had access to the vehicle. During that time, it was about a 2-month period, there were no other reported incidences that we were able to actually identify as particular to this particular suspect, including the suspect vehicle description and MO. On April the 4th, I'm sure you guys have seen the news, there was a report that a 6th case came about. That case, again, involved the same suspect description, vehicle description, and MO. We do believe that there are other victims, and we're asking any of the other victims to come forward, contact us at the Houston Police Department Special Victims Division. The number there is 713-308-1180. I also would like to add, I want to thank the first complainant's mother for actually doing what she did to actually nail down the suspect description and to get the information to obtain the plate. I also want to thank the other victims' parents for being so patient and allowing us to conduct the surveillance that we needed to ensure that we got the right person that was committing these offenses. If at this time, I'm going to close. If you guys have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Does it seem like the victims in these cases all share a certain, body type? Are they all young girls? Are they all Hispanic girls?
No.
What are the victims like?
They're all different, actually. They're all, there's actually 3 boys and 3 girls. So they're actually different. Their age ranges also vary. I have an 18-year-old, a 17-year-old, 15-year-olds, and 12-year-olds. So there's no particular person that he's targeting. It appears at this time.
And there are cases of lewdness versus indecency with the child. Does that have to deal with the age?
It does. So the 17-year-old did not qualify for indecency by exposure, indecency with the child by exposure, because she's 17. The statute is 17. Anybody under the age of 17, even though she is still a child, we would only be able to pursue that one as a misdemeanor, Class A misdemeanor charge. At this time, we have identified 6 cases. We do believe that there are more cases out there.
In one of those cases, it was 2 girls at the same time?
No, in one of the cases, it was 3 boys at the same time.
But then there was 2 sisters.
And then there were just happened to be 2 sisters, separate incidents, same area, separate incidents, a month apart.
I know you guys put the addresses on it. I'm sorry I didn't have a chance to map it, but is it all the same area?
No, it is not. So we have 2 cases in the River Oaks area. We have 2 cases right off of 610 near Tidwell. We have 1 case off of Irvington. And we also have a potential case off of Westheimer, again, near the River Oaks area.
The suspect originally arrested Monday, he bonded out. back in jail. Can you tell us when he was rearrested?
He was rearrested on the 19th.
Can we say that he was doing that close to schools, areas?
That is a part of the MO that we believe. He is doing it around school areas. In each of those 3 areas that I mentioned, there are several schools in that area.
And that's when in the video you saw like a little kid walking with a backpack, so maybe she was coming out from the school walking to the
She was, in fact, coming from her bus. She was walking from her bus. That is correct.
There was a news story that did have the surveillance video of the car,
Mhm.
which kind of shows what he did.
Mhm.
And since then, do you think, other cases come forward since then, or there's been any contact since, the surveillance videos come out, people would think maybe this happened to them?
There hasn't been any other cases that have come forth since showing that surveillance. However, what was seen in that surveillance solidified what we believe to be happening in all the other cases as well.
And you've been on his trail since?
January.
January.
The video that we have is, it happened in Irvington?
Irvington, yes.
Irvington?
Mhm.
In cases like this with these types of suspects and your expertise in this, do they ever stop? I mean, do they always keep, what's
No,
the
sir.
outcome of these?
I do not believe that they ever stop. And that's why it's very important that we were able to obtain the necessary evidence to prove that this person was, in fact, doing this, and also bring that person to justice. As you know, most of them are children, and it's a traumatic experience for them. Although they're in their teenage years, it still, for most of them, was very traumatic. What they saw, especially when they're walking home from school, they didn't expect to see that.
What's the fear of the suspect like this, if he's willing to expose himself? Is there a fear that he could potentially take that to a more serious situation?
The fear is always there. I can say in these particular cases, there was no attempt to try to take the children. But again, if you could imagine being a 12-year-old child and someone does something like that to you, you're probably looking over your shoulder every day after that point, wondering if they're going to come back, do it again, or if this time they're going to try to take you. So the fear is always there.
The suspect never get out of the car, he stay inside the car and he starts exposing himself to the children?
Yes, sir.
He never say anything to the children? So what do they say, the victims?
No, the victims have all expressed that he never said a word to them. They just felt him lurking. As you saw in the video, he drove up behind them, and they could feel somebody there because they're walking and the car is not moving faster than them. So, of course, to children, that's kind of odd. So they glance over, and that's what they see. They said they felt like he wanted them to see him. They've all 6 complainants have said those exact words.
Did he give investigators a reasoned explanation? Did
He did
talk
not.
to y'all?
He did not.
Would he roll the window down
The window was rolled down.
in each case that you're working, I mean, to the
Yes.
best of your knowledge?
The windows was rolled down in every case, yes.
Do you know if the vehicle had any sort of tinted windows that,
The windows were tinted.
like even the front windows, in
The driver's side?
driver passenger
Yes.
area? Those windows were also tinted.
All 4 windows were tinted.
So he could be hard to identify unless the windows are down.
Correct.
And as far as you know, he is in custody right now.
He is currently in custody. That is correct. He has been charged with an additional indecency with a child as of yesterday.
So the charges against him now are 3 indecencies with a child?
That is correct.
And 2 lewdness, or just the 3?
We've only charged him with 3 felony indecency with a child by exposure.
There's no bond?
At this time, he was his first bond was $30,000. His second bond was $70,000. At this time, he's currently on a no bond, but that will change. The DA's office is working diligently to ensure that it is a reasonable bond to make sure that we have the public protected.
They're gonna remain in jail.
At this time, he's in jail. After the 24th, that could change. He could get bonded out.
Now, when a person like this, on the first time he's bonded out, is there a penalty if he's, arrested for whatever it is, another felony while he's out on bond? Does that
Only,
complicate
his,
the legal consequence, or does it just make it harder for him to get bonded out again?
only if he were to have committed the offense while out on bond. These were all offenses that were committed prior to him getting the first bond. So there wouldn't be any difficulty of him actually obtaining a bond on his third one, to answer your question.
Okay.
I apologize that we were a little bit late. Can you tell us what plea you're making to other potential victims and how dangerous you think this guy is?
Sure. To all other victims, we're asking of both reported and unreported incidences. If you feel that you were a victim of this particular offense, contact us as soon as possible. I'm interested in reviewing your case and seeing if it has the similarities that all these other cases had. Our number is 713-308-1180. Like I said, we really, really do need the public's help in identifying all of the other potential victims that are out
Why is
there.
that important?
Because at this point, with the number of victims that we have and the time span in which we believe that he was actually had access to do it, expands about 2 years. So, you know, there's a number of victims who, you know, at the end of the day, they deserve justice as well.
Do you know if they have criminal record before?
I believe he does have a criminal record. It's a juvenile record and it's sealed, so I don't have access to it.
What do we know about him, like where he worked, who he was?
We know that he works for a program that, and I won't name the program specifically, but he works for a program that is designed to assist people who are paroled and or released from jail, obtain jobs and other assistance.
Is that a nonprofit or a governmental agency?
I believe it's a nonprofit.
Just to be clear, if you're saying you had the access over the course of 2 years, I imagine a lot of these cases may go unreported, right? Especially if you're a young kid, you may not go home and tell your
Sure.
parents about this.
That's absolutely, and that is something that we're facing, and that's a reality. You know, in these cases in particular, the kids reported it because, one, there's an officer there at one of the schools, so they felt comfortable to go tell the officer, this is what happened to us. One of the girls, the sisters, she reported it because she knew it happened to her little sister. But again, at 17, she might have just dismissed it and didn't say anything about it. But you're absolutely correct. A lot of times those crimes do go unreported. And that's, you know, our message is clear. If you are a victim of this crime, report it. Because it's not okay for someone to do this.
And I would imagine the more victims you have, the longer you can keep them in jail.
If we can bring the required charges up against him and we can obtain it with evidence that, you know, supports that, sure.
And why is it important to keep them off the street?
Well, I put it to you like this. I don't know how many of you have young children or middle school children, but I myself do, and I don't want my daughter walking home from school and having someone expose themselves to her at an age. You know, the effects of that psychologically can lead to other things as they get older. And our job is to prevent our children from experiencing things too early or before their time. So that's why it's important.
During the interview, what did he say to you? Why are you doing this?
He said absolutely nothing. He wouldn't talk about it.
Is there a statute of limitations on this offense, like if you go back?
Well, he's an unknown suspect, so, I mean, at
But I
this
mean, if
time.
somebody said, oh, 3 years ago,
Well, in that sense, 3 years ago, it wouldn't be him because he just started working for this particular company 2 years ago. And we believe that that's how he's been able to do it because he has access to multiple vehicles. So he's using that as his motive or method to getting accomplished what he wants accomplished.
so his history before that would suggest he didn't have nearly such an ideal situation for
Yeah, I would say.
anonymizing himself?
Well, I would say his history before that would have prevented him from actually being able or actually being exposed to the public. So there you go.
Incarcerated?
I'm not going to speak specifics regarding his criminal history, but I will tell you that it wasn't possible 3 years ago for him to do this.
Last question, last question.
Did he use the same car in each one of these? Was it the same
In these
silver?
particular cases, he did. But remember, he does have access to multiple vehicles, so that could change. Mhm.
Is that how you were able to identify him with the license plate?
Yes, ma'am. We were able to identify him because 3 of the cases, in fact, did obtain the license plate. Yes, ma'am.
Kids did?
Yes, 2 of the kids did and the mom did.